Hello friends, welcome. I am very happy to be back with you this week. So, I am feeling better, however, as you can probably tell by my voice, it is, I have a bit of cough, a bit of postnasal drip. Other than that, I'm feeling really good. It's just the cough occasionally hits me, so I apologize in advance if I have to cough or blow or take a drink, whatever. But I'm very happy to be back. If you are new, my name is Dawn, and I'm with Chicken Wing Creations. If you are watching me on Facebook and the little red live button is up there, you are watching me live, and feel free to comment, ask questions. If you are watching the replay, you can still ask questions. I usually get a notice about it, or you're always welcome to private message me. If you are watching on YouTube, you are watching the replay. But anyway, we are working through our monthly critters, and I was thinking before going live here that I probably should have done these like the month before so you could have them for the holiday, but oh well, it is what it is. So we are working on a little St. Patrick's Day frog. If you are the first time watching me, this is part 3, I believe. You can find the first 2 parts on my YouTube channel, which is Chicken Wing Creations, if you want to look for it. I do have a couple of things to show you, but I'm going to wait and do that in a little bit. Meanwhile, we're going to get back to working on our little froggy here. I was hoping to get him done this week, but I couldn't work last week because I was out. It was, this bug has been really bad, and I never get sick. So I wanted to bring his little thighs out a little bit more, kind of over in this area. So that's where we're going to start today. And I hope all of you are doing well. This bug really put me out and out for a week. I started to feel normal yesterday, so not been fun, but I'm glad that I'm back with you. So I'm gonna kind of put this out this way. I just made like a little pillow here, and I'm gonna do the same on this side. But if you're here, stop, comment, say hi. Let me know what you're working on. What you've been working on. What you want to work on. Sorry. I'm probably going to have that off and on through the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to attach this not right up next to the body because I want it to hang out off the hip area here. Thank you, Trina. Me too. Man, it was not a fun one. I'm so thankful my husband didn't get it. He's been dealing with enough issues with his dad. I'm gonna move this up here a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright, see how that brought the hip out a little bit here, or his leg or thigh, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna do this other side here. I can hold it. I was looking at what I have coming up for next month, and I was planning an Easter themed critter. Easter will be done, so I'll still do him. I'm just sad that we won't have him done in time for Easter. Easter's way too early this year. What I'm not working on is my frog. Yeah, you told me that. Your little fur babies need to behave themselves. I take it you haven't started a new one. And your froggy was so cute, too. Okay, I like that better. So I'm just going to kind of fill in here where we got the seam. Hey, P, how are you? How are your mice coming along? It was mice, right? A little bit more in here. Not yet, okay. I won't be doing April's if you don't get caught up. I'm ready to do anything April related because hopefully that means no more winter. Our snow was just about all melted minus the big snowbanks and stuff. Hi, Kate. Well, I'm glad it is warm and sunny in Indiana. Oh, bunnies. Okay, that's right. I knew it was something. And then it snowed Tuesday, and we got not a lot, probably about 3 or 4 inches. But my ground that was showing is now covered again. But it is going to be warmer, and it's supposed to rain, I think, later today. So that'll probably melt what we did get. Okay, I like that much better. I'm going to do the same on this side. 95. Holy cow. Yeah, I think it's only going to be in like the 40s and the 50s. I don't even know if we're going to get into the 50s here. 40s. But I have a class on Saturday at the library, and also have to watch my grandchildren this weekend, I think. Because I have a class on Saturday, my husband had planned on going down to hopefully move his father's stuff. His dad's in rehab at the moment. When we went down there 2 weekends ago, it was in the teens Tuesday morning. Yeah, it was cold here Tuesday also. We went down 2 weeks ago to his dad's, and Saturday morning, we went up to get him to go see his friend, and he was on the floor in his bedroom. So we ended up in the hospital with him. So he's in rehab at the moment, and we're hoping he can get into the assisted living facility there at the campus he lives on. So if that's the case, my husband's going to go down with my daughter, my son, and my son-in-law Friday, Saturday to move his furniture to the new apartment. If they won't take him, then I'm not sure what we're doing with him when he gets out of rehab. Alright. So you see how that just kind of brought the top part of the thigh out a little bit? I think I like that a little bit better. So, alright, now we're going to attach his head, and I am going to, I already took some of this off, but I'm going to take a little bit more off. Because I want his head nestled right down in there. Because I want his body to be not long and thin, but kind of chunky. I think once we get that tucked in, I think that'll work. So I like to take a long dowel needle and put it through the head. Somewhat centered. And then place it on the body where I want it to go. Just kind of help me hold it. And try not to do like I always do and stick it all the way down through the bottom, and then you're poking yourself while you're trying to hold it together. Make sure we're centered here. Okay, then you're going to take a 38 needle and start to poke that fluff right into the head, but be careful as you're doing so because your needle's in there and you don't want to break your one needle on your other needle. So I'm just kind of tucking that in there. I do want him to have like a little bit of a neck. Some squishing down his head and tucking that right up into his head. Make sure that he's looking the way I want. I do kind of want his head just tipped just a slight bit. Not sure if that'll work or not. So kind of tip the other two that we made their heads a little bit. So we'll see how this works. So since my daughter and son-in-law are going with my husband, I get to watch the grandchildren since I have a class. Which is okay, because I'd rather do that than go down there and pack. Okay, I'm going to pull this off, so I don't need that on there anymore. I'm just going to tilt his head just a little bit. I'm using quite a bit of force here because I really want to get that head on it really good. I had somebody asking how to get in here to watch. I wonder if she got in. Sharon, if you are here, say hi. Okay. I have a long fiber here that's bugging me. Okay. Now I need to decide how far I want the green to come. If I want the green to come around here, if I want it to extend it back, I think I'm going to bring it around here. You made it! Yay! I'm glad you were able to make it. Okay, so now we're just going to add our top coat here. Just kind of roughing it in at the moment to figure out how I want this green to run on his face. So Sharon, are you a needle felter? Been doing it new? see. Started a new project in our membership hub this morning. What you need?
She can't do it this week.
Okay.
Let's know what days are available.
Okay, we'll get back to her later. Beginner, okay. Landscapes, have you going to like the, yeah, landscapes are fun. Have you done any yet? I still need to work on my cottage. Guys, this bug that I got really put me behind on everything I wanted to do this month. Alright, I'm gonna bring it around like this. I wanted to get my bee tutorial released. Haven't finished recording that yet. I was hoping to have this little guy done this week. He's not going to be done this week. I wanted to do a sale this past weekend. Well, that didn't happen. And let's see if I can kind of match these two sides up here. I am doing an auction over on my Whimsical Creations page. If you aren't following me over there, it's kind of limited country-wise who can see that page. See if I can find the link real quick if you're not. Am I in all caps? And of course, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. There we go. I'll drop a link here in the comments. A couple small projects. I also made a hedgehog as I sat next to my husband while he watched the Super Bowl in January. It's 80 degrees here in Colorado today and the weather warms up. I'm always called up. Yeah, I know, I hear you there. Alright, so that's my other page. I'm doing a one-day auction over there for whatever Easter stuff I managed to get done between now and Monday. Yeah, I have that problem in the summer once the weather starts to warm up as well, because I like to get in my garden, and my garden has been sorely neglected this past couple of years. I really need to get back into it. But I also like being at my desk. It's like, I need to clone myself is what I need to do. So I can work in two places at once. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I got both sides kind of the same. I think I need to bring this one in a little bit more here. Well, I don't know if you're new to following me. I have lots of beginner tutorials on YouTube. Of course, I still can't even get into my garden because there's still snow in front of the gate to get in there. But at least it's not 4 feet of snow anymore. Alright, so I'm going to just add the green here in the back. We might need to round out his head a little bit, but we'll see how that looks when we get done here. My grandchildren are going to be very disappointed if they end up not, their parents don't end up going to Pennsylvania. I may still have to have them over for one night just to make them happy. Hi, Jeannie. Your bag of weeds. I'd like to have a bag of weeds. My weeds are still buried under snow. I was looking at my apple trees. I have 2 new apple trees that I put in 2 years ago, I think. And the deer and the bunnies just decimated them. I don't know if they're going to survive. I mean, you know, I expect damage down towards the bottom, but we had so much snow out there that the bunnies were eating the branches that are, you know, 4 feet up off the ground. It's like crazy. So I don't know if one of them is going to make it. The other one hopefully will. And then the trees inside my garden need a major pruning, but I can't get in there to prune them. So, yeah. Are you getting a storm, Jeannie, or just wind? We had really high winds. Was it Monday night? Monday into Tuesday? So just adding top coat where I see spots. I'm not going to worry about down here because we got to put his arms on yet, and that will take care of that there. I might add some to the back of his head so it doesn't look quite so flat, but I'm going to wait on that. And then I'll have to go over all this with a smaller needle once we get to that point. I'm going to see if I can poke in around his neck just a little bit to give it a little bit more definition. So I'm gonna just kind of use some force here. And I'm not sure if you can see, I'm going, I'll do it kind of in slow motion. I'm kind of going up and in. I know I'm probably going too fast for you to really see that. Not too concerned about the back here. I've been trying my hand at more sculpting with the needle. There, that's better. I'm going to add a little bit of white here underneath his chin, which, by the way, guys, last time I bought white from Lion Gate, they sent me roving. I ordered more. There's Snow White, and I actually got a bat this time. And she sent me a little card that said they have both, and when you're ordering, just to let them know which one you want. So I was like, oh, that's great to know. Because I was not happy with the roving the last time. I mean, I'll use it. I've been like putting it on my blending board just to kind of rough it up a little bit. But if I don't have to do that. So if you order from Lion Gate, there you go. And they are the only ones that I have found like this really bright white. And I got some green showing through here. I might cover that up, but I won't worry about that right now. Okay, let's make some, I want to do feet or arms. Let's get his feet done first. Oh, before I do that, let me show you what I wanted to show you. I just finished this little guy before hopping on live today. He will be in my auction. Wins again. What color is my green? I don't know. To be totally honest with you, I have no idea. I've had this for quite a while. I don't even know where I got it from. It's a minty green, and it's in a bat. But I had it for a long time, and I have no idea. It was before I was, like, keeping track of where I got my stuff from. So, but I do have, I can show you, not that one. Where's the other one? This is kind of close. Not exactly, because the other is a little bit more minty green. Yeah, see, it's a little bit more minty green. This is Leaf, which is from Cupid Falls Farms, and Lion Gate also carries it. So that's a little bit more green than the minty green. So if I can find out where I got it from, I will let you know. But, so yeah, so I just finished him. He will be in the auction on Monday. And then I got to show you guys this because I'm really excited for this. Hi, Sheila. When we were in Pennsylvania, we stopped at some thrift stores on the way because my husband can't not stop. And look at, I found a little tub. I've been watching for a little tub. I gotta clean it. It's dirty, but oh my goodness, I was like, I saw, sorry. I saw that and just absolutely had to grab it. So I'm not sure what we're going to put in it yet, but I'm going to figure something has to go in there. I mean, it just has to with bubbles and everything, right? So kind of, I don't usually go in the thrift stores when my husband stops. It is a really cool color. Because I don't normally find stuff, but I was like, yes. My husband was like, what? Like, I'm going to put something in it. It's just calling for something. All right. Feet. We're not going to do anything really elaborate for his feet. We're just going to make a couple toes, I think. I'm going to do like 3 toes hanging out because you're not even going to see. I'm not even going to see it too much. So let me just kind of figure out how much I need here and I can give you a measurement. Don't need that in there. Alright, so this is just about an inch wide. And it's longer than what I need. It's over 2 inches, but I folded it over because I want it to be kind of thick. You know, this is like all that I have left of this, so I really need to find more because I do like that color. So I'm going to fold this in half. Not sure if that's going to be thick enough for what I want. We'll see. I'm going to do this one too at the same time. If you're new to needle felting, I always encourage you to, when you're doing more than one thing, to do them at the same time, so that way you hopefully get them about the same size. Fold this one over. Also, if you're new and you're buying wool, look for bats because they felt much quicker. I started out using roving because I had no idea what I was doing, and stuff took forever to needle felt because it just takes longer. Bats felt up really quickly and nice and smooth. Alright, so it doesn't look like much of a foot yet. I'm just kind of gauging here if it's going to be about the right size. And it is an inch wide. I'm going to tuck in ends here a little bit, kind of folding it about to the middle because it doesn't need to be quite this long, this wide. I want to bulk it up just a little bit. I'm going to do some on the other side to the middle. When you're doing something thin, you're probably going to get it into your mat. So you want to pull it up regularly so it doesn't stick in there. And his feet are only going to stick out like that much. So it's not going to be very much at all. I'll do this one. Fold it in about to the middle. To the other side. I made a pork roast for dinner in the crock pot. And it smells so good because I haven't cooked in a week. I've been eating leftovers when I had an appetite to eat, which has only been the last few days. Alright, so now I'm going to just take a little bit and go over as we have. You can kind of see where we bent it over, so I'm just going to go over that. Then we'll make some toes. trying to think if I used this color for something else. I don't remember. I don't think I used it in my frog and toad that I made. I can do the same on this side. The one problem about this wool is there is quite a bit of stuff in it. Sorry. Pull that up and over just to clean up that edge a little bit. I really wasn't sure what color I wanted to make our froggy. Kind of glad I went with this color. Alright, I think one's a little bit, this one's just a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my finger guards here, and I'm just going to, using a little bit of force, because it's pretty firm, just poke along the edge here. Get it a little bit smaller. Now, decide which side I want to be the top and which side I want to be the bottom. Okay, so we want 3 toes, I think. Yeah, we're going to go with 3 toes. So I'm just going to, using my 38 needle, just kind of outline where those toes are going to be. Nothing real elaborate, not going to use wire. Just keep going over it with your needle. I'm poking it in this way too, down here, just to kind of define those toes. You could also like run, like if you wanted to put some black down here to define them a little bit more, or gray or something, you could do that, but I think it'll work just like this. And again, it's only going to be about this much that's going to show anyway, so we don't have to go too far back. Alright, so not sure if that's showing up on the camera. Yeah, I guess it's kind of showing up. So, got that one done. And we'll do this one. I'm going to go with this as the top. So, Same thing. Just figure out where we want the toes to be. I always make one toe bigger than the other ones. So just use a bit of force here. You want to use a bigger needle to do this. You don't want to use like your 40. Use your 36 or 38. Just works better. Okay. Now, let's figure out where we want them to set here. I don't want them to be directly under the thigh there. I want them to kind of be like half under the thigh and half under the belly. So I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm just going to just do a rough lay-in here, enough to hold it in place for the moment. While I do the other side, and I'll take a look at it and make sure that it looks even and how it looks from the front. Okay, this one is over just a little bit too much. So it's always good to, when you're, adding pieces, to look at it all the way around, because what looks right from one angle may not look right from the other angle. Now, here's what I'm seeing here. I feel like this leg is higher up than this leg is, so it's making this foot off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up the bottom of this one leg a little bit. So I feel like there's more of a gap here than there is on that side. And this just comes with practice, and the more you do it, the more you see things. And coming it down a little bit more. Where'd our foot go here? Still a little high. Let's see if we can kind of bring it down a little bit. Okay, I like that better. So I'm going to move it over just a little bit more, I think. I do want kind of a gap between the 2 feet. And actually, I think maybe I'm going to turn them out a little bit. You could use a couple pins here to hold them in place until you get the position right. I'm just going to put them over here on my desk so I can see how it looks. Okay, I think that's going to work. Alright, so now I'm going to really work this in here so it will hold. He does stand at the moment. Whether he continues to stand once we give him all his accessories remains to be seen. Oh. Aw, Nancy. Well, good for you. It's a bummer, but do you have grandchildren playing in that? I'm going to poke right up high into the foot here because I want to make sure that it doesn't flip backwards. And it stays up where it belongs. See if he still stands up. Not anymore. Oh, gotcha. Alumni. I understand. I like watching high school sports. It's fun. I don't care for pro. Alright. Now, I will probably take a piece and just go over this just to kind of smooth it out so you don't see the joints and stuff like that, but I'll do that off camera. Alright, let's see if we have time to do arms. Maybe just enough time to make some arms. So, I'm going to pull off, well, that's probably not enough. Let's do it this way instead. That one's a little thin. downfall to bats are they're not always very easy to get like pieces the same. Okay, let's see if this is going to be... I could roll it this way. Actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to fold it in half. And then roll it. See if that gives us enough. I think that's going to be too thin. See what we get if we roll it this way. So make sure that's going to be long enough. Yeah, that'll probably work. I have to add another layer to it, we'll see. Just going to get it attached here and roll the other one. So this is, if you want a size, it is roughly 1 inch by not quite 4 inches. And when you're rolling, you want to try and roll as tight as you can. Get that air out. I need to spread this out just a little bit. The tighter you can roll it, the less felting you'll have to do. Okay, I'm just going to compare them, make sure that they feel like that they're about the same thickness. And they are. So now I'm going to work on felting this down and see if we need to add another layer. Get this stuff out of here. Come on. Our local high school cheerleaders, the school district that I'm in is like super small. We homeschooled our kids, so they didn't go, but the like the graduating class is like between 40 and 60 kids each year, so it's a really, really small school. But the cheerleaders just came in 4th in the statewide competition. They did like really, really good. I know a couple of the girls that are on the squad. For their 4th in the state for their division. The state has different divisions based on, I think, the sizes of the schools. I know nothing about cheerleading. I never did cheerleading. I was not a sports person. I was a band and art person. Those were my extracurricular activities. Band, mostly. Yeah. In fact, my hometown school, I don't know where they placed, but I do know that they ended up going to the final state competition as well. I didn't hear where they placed, though. Oh, they had quite the send-off. They had the fire department and the police department and, well, state police anyway, escorting the bus to turn on the highway. I'm going to give it a roll here in my hands. I'm leaving the ends fluffy for the moment. I'll do the other one. Yeah, it amazes me how small the school district is because the area You were chorus, Sheila. Yeah, my sister was chorus and band. I could have done chorus, but it didn't fit into my schedule. Because we could have like two extra classes, besides our academic, and art was my one. So I didn't have a spot for chorus. I probably could have my senior year, but I ended up taking bookkeeping instead. I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, look at that. My husband's calling me. He's too early. You would think after all this time that I've been doing lives, same time, every Thursday, he would get the hint. Okay. Probably go a little bit more. So they are just about 2 inches long. Alright, so I'm going to decide one side's going to be his hand, and then the other side's just going to be the shoulder. I better make sure that they're going to work right. Yeah, I think I got enough. He's got to hold his pot of gold. So I think we have enough there to do that. They just make me smile when I get to this point. They're just like too cute. Alright, so I'm going to fold over one of the ends here. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. I don't want the whole arm to be flat, but I want to make his hand just slightly flat. We're going to do the same thing that we did for the feet, just kind of give like 3 fingers. So I'm making like the bottom, I don't know, is that like a 1/4 of an inch? Men have no sense of time. You got that right. About 1/2 an inch. So making about the half an inch up, kind of flat. I want to get his arms done, so the bulk of him is done, and then we can do the accessories next week. I don't know if they'll take the full hour next week or not. So I'm just going to kind of squish his hand there. So I'm not sure if you can see how it's just a little bit flatter than the arm. I'll do the same on this side. I'm taking, it's thinner up here and it's thicker down here, so I'm taking the thicker part to make that the hand. So I'm just going to fold this over. Spend more time pulling stuff out than I do felting. Yeah, I like almost never had a study hall. I hated study hall. I would go to the band room. Until some of the kids got into too much trouble because our band instructor would write a pass that we could get out of study hall and come down to the band room, and he didn't really care what you were doing as long as you weren't causing trouble. So, if you were either practicing or if you were working on homework or something like that, he didn't really care until a couple times where students got caught doing what they shouldn't be doing, and then he wouldn't issue passes anymore unless you had a lesson. So I'm like, thanks a lot, people. So then instead I started going to the art room. My art teacher loved me because I was my own student. I was my own class my senior year of high school because my schedule didn't fit in with her or the other art teacher, their actual classes. So I kind of became her gopher when I wasn't working on a project. Alright, so we're going to do the fingers like we did the toes. I'm just going to do 3. Figure where they're going to go here. All the things about Dawn that you never thought you would learn, right? Okay, I'm not sure how well you can see that. What I need to do is put my finger guards on and really go over it. There's one in every group, yeah. In this case, it was more than one. Those practice rooms get kind of dark. And the really bad thing was out behind the band room is like where all the kids who smoked would go hang out. Even though, you're not supposed to smoke on campus, they never did anything about it. So they would all go out and hang out behind the band room door and get their little cigarettes in before classes. I think they thought they were hiding or something, but I mean, it's like everybody knew they were doing it. Never pictured you as a teacher's pet. Well, I wouldn't say I was a teacher's pet. But it's funny because the one art teacher I had 9th through 12th was a man, and I definitely was not his pet. Although I did win a couple of awards, which actually kind of put me higher up in his eyes than where I was as a freshman. But anyway, she did, he did more of the technical art stuff. She did more like the pottery and, that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to I could have taken a pottery class, but I didn't want to. I should have. Might have helped with needle felting at the time. But because she was teaching a class, she pretty much let me do whatever I wanted. We sit down like once a quarter and discuss, what do you want to work on? You want to paint? What do you want to paint? And whatever. And I would do that. And then if I was done or she needed something done, like copies made at the office or something like that, she would send me down to do it. But honestly, I was always a good person. I wasn't necessarily the best student grade-wise, but I never got into trouble. I was not a troublemaker. Alright, just going to give this a quick poke here so I can see where I want these to go. This arm's a little bit longer than the other one, so I may have to add like a shoulder to this one. Okay, I think he'll be able to hold his pot of gold. Alright, so we're going to secure his arms. I'm going to add some to the back of this arm, especially because As you can see, as I'm poking it, it's flattening out because there wasn't a lot there. But that's okay. We'll add that. This one has a little bit more bulk to it, so, or not. The nice thing about the wool is you can just add to it. This arm's a little bit thicker. You got caught smoking. Yeah, I never smoked. I never smoked. I never did drugs. I never drank. I had grandparents that smoked, and my mom never did. It's kind of weird because my mom, there was eight kids in her family. Both her parents smoked, and of the 8 kids, only 2, I think only 2 smoked. The rest of them never took up smoking, and I'm glad. Nasty stuff. I mean, you can do what you want, but it's not healthy. Alright, so now I'm going to just bulk up his shoulders here a little bit. We are at our 4 o'clock, but I want to get at least his arms done. So I'm just making just a little tiny pillow here to put on the back part of his arm. Give a shoulder. You might have to do this a couple times because it's quite flat right in this area here, so I'm going to have to add a couple little pillows. But I don't like to do a big one because then it can be too big. So I'm thinking like a curved shoulder here. So that's what I'm looking for. Didn't drink to your 50th birthday. Wow, good for you. The only time I ever drank was, well, my grandfather, again, on my mom's side of the family, my grandfather used to sit me on his lap, and he'd say, "Here, you want a beer?" I'm like, took a sniff, I'm like, no. But, the things my family did back in the day, they would have been arrested today. But what was I gonna say? Oh, when we got married, the hotel that we stayed at before we flew out to Florida the next day gave us a complimentary bottle of champagne, and I took a sniff, I took a drink, and dumped the rest of it in the sink. I'm like, yeah. Ick. And the smell of beer is just nauseating, so never had the inkling. My daughter used to like wine coolers, but I don't think she's had that since she was been married. You got drunk and dyed your hair red. Oh my goodness, Sheila, that is hilarious. Oh goodness. Alright, so you can see, I probably need to build this up just a little bit more, but I think I'll do that after we get done here. We'll just do the other side, and then I'll let you guys go. And I will just finish up the little bits and bobs on him before we meet next week, so we can get right into making his a pot of gold and his little hat. I gotta figure out how I want to do his hat. because I think I kind of want it like off to the side here. So I need to figure out the best way to make that. Okay, I gotta build this up a little bit more too. It's kind of weird looking, so I will do that before we meet again next week. But more or less, our little froggy is done. There's a few touch-ups to make on him, you can see. But I think he's turned out pretty cute. So next week we'll make his hat, we'll make his pot of gold, and I think he will be done. Oh, thank you, Sheila. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good. I'm gonna finish up his shoulders here a little bit. I'm gonna kind of clean up around his mouth a bit. Kind of like his head looking a little cockeyed. So, but I'll let you guys go. Hopefully next week I'll have more of a voice, a little less raspy. And don't forget Monday over on my Whimsical Creations page at noon Eastern, my silent auction, 24-hour auction will start. It'll be an album, so I'll pin it to my top of my page so you'll be able to find it. But go check that out for what few things I actually have made for Easter. And then we will finish this guy up next week and start April's. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you missed the first two parts of our frog, they're over on my YouTube channel, Chicken and Creations over there. You can catch up. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy.